Welcome to the Fantasy Football Fire podcast, not spelled F-R-Y, but F-Y-R-E. I
I
made
don't
that
think
mistake.
that's. I don't think that's the name of the podcast.
Fantasy Football? Wait. No,
Dragon
Dragon Fire Fantasy Podcast. Yeah, that's what we're called. My name's Chuck. Or
My name's
Chuckles Bubbles
Julian.
1. Sorry. Already interrupting people.
I hate to see it. My name's Julian.
And I'm Greg.
Cool. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Pretty good Saturday.
Pretty good Saturday. Today we're going to be covering the AFC East. Yeah, they're pretty exciting. Not really, but whatever.
I mean, they've
Yeah,
had some exciting changes over the past year and a half.
yeah, a lot of free agent signings, so it's going to be pretty
I
fun to
think-
cover them.
Yeah.
We're going to be covering them by their standings, so we're going to start with the worst, the Jets, then the fucking Patriots, Dolphins, and then Bills. And we're gonna try to want to do it the same format as last time, guys, where we did it by positional group throughout each team. So we'll just start with the QBs, and then the RBs, and then the wide receivers and everything.
Sure thing.
Cool.
Let's do it.
All right. Wow, this is already outdated, but Sam Darnold is not the quarterback for the Jets anymore, and I don't even
needs to be filled.
Yeah, I have no idea who their backup is. Actually, I'm sorry.
Well, I think the plan is, the draft.
Yeah, and this is a good discussion to have because Zach Wilson is kind of like trending upwards while Trey Lance is trending down. So, what do you guys think about that? Like, who would you pick?
Yeah, people are really high on Zach Wilson right now. Personally, I would rather have Justin Fields as the second quarterback.
I said Trey Lance. Sorry, I'm wrong.
But Trey Lance is in the conversation. Is the top four guys, So I think they're going to take Zach Wilson. The whole NFL's pretty much decided that's what's going to happen. So they could do something crazy on draft day, but I think Zach Wilson's going to end up on the Jets.
Yeah, I guess this is a bit of an exaggeration, but Zach Wilson made like one nice throw at his pro day, and everyone was completely sold
enamored.
that he's the guy. And I'm like, I'm not going to exaggerate that his whole career is nothing and just that one throw. But like, I don't know why that turned the tables so much that he's like, I have to be like. It just seemed like an overreaction to me. I don't know. I think he's going to be really good, but I still would prefer Justin Fields. I think, and I'm not sure why Fields, the talk around him has died down so much. It feels like, I don't know. We'll see what they do. Either way, it's going to be an upgrade, I think.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I definitely think that it's a weird situation where a lot of people are comparing Zach Wilson to Justin Herbert, and I think that they both think that they're both raw guys. They have good shape and size. Wow, that sounds really weird coming out of my mouth. But I think that they saw what happened last year, and they're like, "Oh, we can definitely do the same thing, and he can be our Justin Herbert."
You know what I hate that like might not be the best for, I guess, a new podcaster for football? I absolutely hate incoming rookie player comps. It makes no sense to me. Just shut up and let them get drafted and watch them play. Like, I don't care that you think he's as tall as Calvin Johnson and runs it. Like, just let them play. I don't know. I always bother when I see those lists. I'm like, this annoys me. Like, you have no idea. Stop.
I like it. I don't know. I like when they compare them to like already active players because it is always fun to see like how they do compare.
I feel like I want to see them. It makes sense to see those comparisons after you see them play in the NFL for half a season or something. Like, to just kind of base it off of them playing against other college players. Obviously, it's going to happen. I'm not like, this is a major problem. We need to stop player comparisons.
Yeah.
Every time I see, I'm like, this is because like people were comparing Ortega-Whiteside to Alshon or Calvin Johnson or something like that, and of course you're going to get all hyped, and it's a letdown. And of course, sometimes people are spot on, probably, but I'm like, I don't know. It just seems unnecessary to me. But
yeah, I
if
think
he's
it's
like
more for
Justin
newbies.
Herbert, good for him.
I think it's more for newbies. I think it's like for people to sell the idea of like, oh yeah, this is why you should be excited about this player because he does resemble this other player.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. If you want to get hyped about him, just go watch their tape.
But nevertheless, I think you should not draft the Jets quarterback this fantasy draft, no matter what the situation is. It could be a streamer, but
Yeah, I feel you. I'm not really on board with the whole Jets offense. They're pretty much a huge overhaul, and they lost a quarterback. They got a new coach. They got a defensive-minded coach, too, from the guy from the 49ers, Saleh. So,
yeah. Well,
I don't have high hopes.
Here's the thing, guys. I mean, I think we talked about this last pod, but with Adam Gase gone, does everyone get like a plus 500 bump to their stats? Like,
no, that's a good point. That's a good point. But yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical just because like there is a lot of holes on this team, and I agree that this will probably be more of a defensive run team, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that they need more of an identity.
So just to go over the, I guess, fantasy relevant changes that they made in the free agency, the Jets, I think firing Adam Gase is like a big one because I think he's a detriment to any team he's on in any capacity. Recently, they lost Sam Darnold in a trade to
the Panthers. Yep.
They acquired Tevin Coleman, re-signed Josh Adams, the running backs. They got tight end Tyler Croft. They have an upgrade at their O-line with Dan Freeney, and they signed wide receivers Corey Davis and Keelan Cole. So those are the changes you can kind of picture them having as opposed to how their offense ran last year.
Yeah, I want to talk about Corey Davis a little later, but yeah, that is a big signing to me. But
yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah. So Cam Newton. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart right now. Patriots quarterbacks Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham. Cam Newton's going like 23rd QB off the board, and that makes a lot of sense. And Jarrett Stidham's the 45th. So right now in their current situation, don't draft either of them. They have the 15th pick in the first round, so they're projected to get Najee Harris, and like if he falls down that much, maybe. The people are also saying that they might trade up for Mac Jones, but then there's reports that Bill Belichick did not like Mac Jones during the pro day or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. They might trade up. They might do something.
Yeah, with the receivers around him too. I don't think Cam's going to get any better than he did last year. So just if you want some mediocre performances with a couple rushing touchdowns every now and then, I mean, that's your guy. He's kind of lost his throwing.
They did add all the changes they had on offense. They added Trent Brown for their line. They added Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith and got rid of Ryan Izzo at tight end. They added James White's back as running back, and they added for wide receivers Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne. I know those aren't like the biggest names for the wide receiver group, at least, but it's better than what he had last year. But as you said, to expect that to kind of jump him up that high, I don't know. I think he's worth a late round buyer, but I wouldn't be depending on him to start for you.
I think he has a lot of upside.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really that much. Like last year, the receivers threw more touchdowns than Cam Newton on the Patriots. So
really?
Yeah, I saw that.
Cam had like 6 touchdowns or something crazy. And I mean, he had some rushing touchdowns, but the throwing numbers just aren't there. So I just would stay away from Cam.
Who threw all these touchdowns?
Jacoby Myers, they had a couple.
What?
It was a weird situation. It wasn't a lot. It's not like they were throwing touchdowns.
And I guess Cam did miss a lot of games.
Yeah, because he had COVID. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
like he missed games.
He missed. So. Yeah, he missed 3 games. I think.
Research has shown that if you miss games, you will throw less touchdowns than if you did not miss games. Typically.
I actually think he has a lot of upside. I think that he has a more complete group now. Like he actually has he has 2 tight ends now. I think
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
He only missed
Like,
one
I think
game,
he missed only
Really?
1 game. Oh
and he
wow.
threw 8 touchdowns and had 10 interceptions.
wow.
Wow, that's really bad.
I thought it was more. Wow.
Me too. I
Hmm.
thought it was 3.
Well, I mean,
How
I
did
think a lot of those games, like receivers just weren't doing him any help, giving him any help.
Yeah.
Who was there starting? Was it Bird and Myers and N'Keal Harry?
N'Keal Harry.
Yeah. N'Keal Harry.
So
Yeah.
I think these
his
guys
receiving
are.
core wasn't great, but I mean, I think his throwing motion looked off too. You know, it wasn't just on the receivers. I would
Yeah,
say.
he has a lot of bad
Yeah.
injuries.
It wasn't just the receivers. I know that, but
Mm.
I think these receivers will be able to help him out a little bit. And it sounds weird saying that about Nelson Aguilar, but he did have a much better year last year than he did with the Eagles.
Yeah, he looked good last year.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We go to the next team.
Mhm.
Let's go with Tua. Oh man, Tua right now is the
The
projected to
Dolphins.
go of the Dolphins. Tua of the Dolphins, first of his name. QB 22. And then they have Jacoby Brissett as their backup. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Tua also has a lot of upside. I know that he had a really bad year last year, and right now they have the 6th and the 18th pick. The 6th pick is projected to be Jamar Chase, and the 18th pick is an edge, so just defense. So we don't care about that. What do you guys think of Tua?
So Jamar Chase is going to fall to 6. That's interesting. Anyway, I don't really like Tua. I don't really like Tua. Maybe it's like a personal thing. I wouldn't draft him, but
So,
I think
who would
he
you
can
rather have on
do
your
well.
team? Tua with some big offensive weapon ratting with the 6th pick, with Fuller, Parker, and Gesicki, or Cam Newton with Aguilar, Edelman, and the tight ends. Personally, I would go Tua, but I'm interested
I
in
go
who you
Tua
guys think.
too. I go Tua too.
I would go Tua. I feel like he would stay healthier.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating for Tua in any way. I'm just saying I think
That's
both
a
these
good question.
guys are just at the bottom of the list. If you're like desperate,
Yeah,
you can take a shot.
I think that's a good question.
that's a good question. I don't know because I feel like Tua just had a bad year, and I think that the fact that there was no practice camp or anything like that, like they definitely need. He definitely has some growing pains, but if he has Jamar Chase, that'd be a true like number 1 receiver for him. I don't know. I have hope for
He
him.
also has Will Fuller, so
Yeah,
pretty
will definitely blow up for 1 game and then get suspended.
man, he had a great year last year.
He did have a
Then he
good
got
year.
suspended. Then he got suspended. But
Then he got suspended. Yeah.
their moves, we said they added Brissett at QB, Fuller. They lost Ryan Fitzpatrick, which I think is a massive blow, and they
Yeah.
gained running back Malcolm Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, Gaskins is probably going to still be handling
Number
much of
1.
the workload. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't draft.
I don't know. Don't draft who? Tua?
Oh yeah, don't draft Tua. Yeah, he's definitely a streamer, but no, there's way better QB options on the board. If you're in a very deep league, maybe, but don't. I think it's not worth it. The Bills now an exciting quarterback. Whoa, Josh
Mitch
Allen,
Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky. Hell yeah. Oh man. So Josh Allen, he's the fucking QB2, man. I was kind of surprised. I thought maybe like QB3, but after looking at his numbers from last year, it kind of felt surreal. Last year I kept waiting for him to kind of fall off and come back to earth. But he really didn't. He had maybe 1 or 2 bad games in a row.
He had a stretch of great games instead of outstanding games, and then he went back to being outstanding.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's really good. That's what you want out of like a QB1. And yeah, like right now he's projected to go early 4th round. I know we all have a very weird, not weird look, but like a very stern look about drafting QBs. I think drafting QBs should be a lot later in the draft. I would even say probably 8th to 10th round, maybe. I don't know about you guys. I'm saying specifically a 10-man league, just because it's easier with numbers.
10-man?
Yeah, so yeah, if it's a 43rd overall pick, that means it would be like early 4th round. I'm dumb. Actually, it's the 5th round because the 1st through 10 is the 1st round.
What do you think, Greg?
About what?
When you would draft a quarterback in a 10-man?
The quarterback? Yeah. So in a 10-man league, I would still wait because there's 10 quarterbacks, in the league that are all after, like Mahomes, Allen, Murray, those kind of guys. Like, there's still going to be guys later in the draft that you can get. So I'd rather have, some top wide receivers or running backs in the first like 6 or 7 rounds, and then round 8 makes sense. 7 or 8, depending on who's available.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if Josh Allen's still sitting there in like the 5th or 6th, he won't be there in the 6th. But if he's sitting there, I think I would take him in the 6th. I think normally what I do is I wait to see when because I know Mahomes is gone like the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
People are going to start grabbing Kyler, probably Lamar earlier now. Once I see that going on, like if there's too many of them taken out, then maybe I'll grab one earlier than I would like to, just to make sure I get one of those elite running guys. But in general, probably 8 makes most sense.
Okay.
Something like that. And then, there's, just based off of drafting, game theory type of thing. If everyone else has a quarterback, you really don't have to worry about drafting one, So if you're the last one, just keep on waiting. Generally, you're not going to take 2 guys if they have a need somewhere else.
I don't know, man. Last year, someone took Russ and Josh Allen, like both kind of early. And I was like, I ended up taking Josh Allen off his hands later. But I feel like some people like to have quality backups. I like to their own team.
I personally like to draft quarterbacks back to back, and I like to start drafting quarterbacks like the 8th or 9th round, like back to back. So it looks strange, like picking a quarterback after another. So like last year, I actually did get the draft, Josh Allen and Tom Brady. So this is a personal experience of mine. So I started Tom Brady like for 2 weeks, and that was a fucking big mistake. And then I got to trade him later when he actually was starting to perform. So that felt pretty good. It wasn't for much, but like just having Josh Allen and then getting the trade, like a team that's very QB needy, is pretty good. It's a good feeling, at least.
I think that's a good point. I think taking them back to back 8 and 9 is a little crazy to me, but I think having that extra quarterback that is going to be good, and then someone's going to need one at some point, or like stacking up on running backs early for the idea of trading one early in the season. There's something to be said for that. So
yeah,
all depends how you're feeling the day of the draft, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Personally, I don't like to draft players on my team that I'm just hoping to trade later in the future. That's just for me. I would rather have like take a shot at a wide receiver who might break out or something like that in the later rounds. I usually just draft one quarterback and one tight end, just see how it falls out with the rest of the positional players. That's just me.
It is very. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say it's very situational for me.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg. I don't really do it for quarterbacks, but if I would do that for running backs. Like if I already have 2 really good ones and another one I really like is falling in the 3rd round, or 4th round, I already have one wide receiver at least. I might say, let me just grab this guy with the intention of starting him, and then knowing that I'll have the advantage of trading him or trading one of my top 2 guys, and he's a nice second or whatever I get for the other guy. I think that there's something to be said for that with the other position players, but quarterback, not so much.
Yeah. But anyway, Josh Allen.
Pick, yeah, if he falls like to the I agree with you, Julian, what you said earlier. Like if he does fall around, if he's like going in the 5th round, like that's when you gotta start eyeing him. Like, oh yeah, this is a pretty good pick.
Yeah, I might. If he's there in like the 5th or 6th, I might.
Yeah.
There are other free agency moves for their quarterbacks. They got Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky is going to be there, not necessarily breathing down Josh Allen's neck at quarterback, but he's there. They got Matt Breida. in the running back room, and they signed. Oh, they got rid of John Brown.
Yeah. And their NFL draft pick, they have the 30th pick this year, and it's kind of a crapshoot from there. A lot of different websites have a lot of different positions. Right now, it looks like they might be getting a defensive player, but we'll see. All right.
Yeah, I love Josh Allen. I mean, he's got.
I love Josh Allen too.
#1 QB upside. So.
Yeah. All right. Running backs, and let's start with the Jets. Not exciting, really. They have Tevin Coleman, Piran, and Ty Johnson. Yeah. The only one I would even consider is Coleman, and Coleman's the 65th off the board.
Did you say Piran?
How do you pronounce his name? Oh, Piran. Oh, I did not. I sincerely did not know that. Michael Piran.
Don't worry, you won't have to draft him. I would draft him.
You don't even have to think about him.
This is Michael Piran? I thought it was like Samaji Piran. I haven't even heard of this Piran.
Well, Michael Pirine was a rookie last year. So everyone thought he was going to be the next big thing, and then Frank Gore took over and, did his thing. So I don't think we have to spend too much time on these Jets running backs. I wouldn't draft any of them.
Yeah, now that you're saying that out loud, though, I would go with Pirine just because I didn't know too much about him. But if he didn't play last year and he's not under Gase, maybe if you have like the slot and like you want like a developmental running back that might become something, maybe pick him up, but don't.
Yeah, my advice is avoid them for now. They might prove you wrong, but I think there's a much higher likelihood that they're just gonna do nothing.
I could take Coleman in like the 14th or later rounds. And when you're looking for people who could come into your flex if needed 1 week.
Yeah. I could see him like maybe like if you have a double flex, he can be like that second flex option. So he's basically like your RB4 at that point, which is not too bad.
I don't even think he's that high. I would trust him as an RB4, especially with his division. He's got the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Bills. They all got solid defenses.
That's very true.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I would avoid.
So he's not in your top 30 this year?
Oh, surprisingly, didn't make the cut.
I gotta adjust my rankings.
All right, let's move to the Patriots. They actually have pretty decent running backs. They have Damian Harris, they have James White, Sony Michel, and I would be happy with any of these guys. I'd be pretty happy with Damian Harris. He's the 30th RB off the board. Some see him get going in the late 6th round. And I like a lot of them. They're pretty good value. The only thing I don't like about the Patriots offense is that they kind of just go with the flow. I wouldn't not say go with the flow. They go randomly with their running backs. I feel like they kind of go with whoever's hot. And that's probably the best way to go about it. But for fantasy football, that's kind of hard because if Sony Michel is having a good game, Damian Harris and James White are not going to get touches. So that's the only caveat I would say. But they're all pretty good. I think.
I'm very shocked that Rex Burkhead isn't here taking snaps away from the other guys. Seems like that was like his main job for years.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots, I don't think they have a lot of faith in any of their running backs. I mean, Sony Michel and Damian Harris are like their two, first 2 down back guys who they'll run the ball and get you a couple of yards. But they're planning to draft Najee Harris. It's one of the projections. So,
yeah.
I mean, if he goes there, that'd be a whole game changer. He's pretty much a 3 down back. He can do it all. So that happens. I wouldn't want to draft any of these guys. Personally.
Yeah, at that point,
James
it becomes
White.
kind of a nightmare.
James White's like the pass catching guy, so like that's always valuable especially in like a PPR type of league. But I don't think Cam Newton throws him the ball all that much either. So I'm kind of iffy on these running backs. I'd probably look somewhere else personally if I was, had them on the list and be like, not so sure about them. Probably pass.
Yeah. I do want to see what they do in the real draft because I want to see if they do pick up Najee Harris or they do move up or they do something else. Maybe they'll pick another wide receiver and then regret it.
Yeah, I would. It would suck if Najee Harris went there. I don't want to see him go there. I want him to go somewhere good.
But for fantasy purposes, I mean,
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
Maybe
with
it'll be
you.
good for him, but
very crowded, very crowded.
Do you have anything to add, Julian?
Last times I drafted or had Sonny Michel or Damian Harris on my teams, I regretted it. So that's it.
Yeah. These
never know
guys are
with
probably
Bill.
these guys are probably going to be on the waiver wire a lot this year too. I think that these are like the guys that you will drop and pick up the most. So just keep that in mind. These guys are probably going on the waiver, so just always keep your eye out on them.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, let's get to the running backs for the Dolphins. They have Miles Gaskin. I cannot pronounce this guy's name, and I always feel bad.
Salvin Ahmed.
Okay, Ahmed.
I think so.
All right, Malcolm Brown. Yeah, I think the only one worth taking is Miles Gaskin. He's the 28th off the board for running backs, and he's an early sixth round option. Yeah, Miles Gaskin is the man. I like him a lot. There's been recent rumors that they might draft a running back. I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't like that. They're just rumors.
Hey.
I don't like to go off that, but Miles Gaskin I think is a good pickup in the 6th round.
So this is a spot where I would love Najee Harris to go. Because if he goes here, the Dolphins love just running with one guy. When Gaskin went down, Salvin Ahmed, he took over. So they're always going to give the ball, basically funnel through their running back. So whoever's their number one guy is going to get touches and probably score a few touchdowns. So Gaskin right now is the guy. So I would much rather have a guy like Gaskin over Damian Harris or Sonny Michel.
Yeah. He's just a volume guy. Like, he'll get the touches.
Yeah, he'll get you like 10 points a week, which is not going to win you a week, but it's going to keep you in it,
Yeah.
I think Gaskin's my favorite running back in this division. I don't know if that's necessarily hard, but
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Scrolling through the
even-
rankings, yeah. Next is Jack Moss and Singletary back to back at
33 and 34.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Najee Harris to come here because I would like, for fantasy purposes, I'd like Najee Harris to go somewhere where he can actually start one day. I feel like Gaskin is the guy in Miami, and I would love to have him. I think he's a great pickup in you said the 6th round?
Yeah, early 6th.
Gas.
I personally think, I don't think they have too much faith in Gaskin. I mean, he's a solid, he performed well last year, but if they draft a guy like Najee Harris, I feel like they would give him the reins like day one.
If they draft him,
Go to work.
if they draft him, I think they would. But I guess for fantasy, I would like to see them just keep it with Gaskin because of how well he did last year. But obviously, if Najee Harris does go there, then Gaskin's value tanks a little bit.
Yeah. Them picking up Najee Harris would be like a good team thing, but not a good fantasy thing.
I feel like we're going to bring up Najee Harris every team until the draft.
Yeah, no, seriously, because he's all over the place. I've seen him go as high as like 10 and as low as the 2nd round. People can't mark him down because he has kind of a nasty injury right now, right? Because he couldn't actually go to a lot of pro games, like he had to sit them out.
Pro day stuff?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna go. And to be honest, he probably might be the steal of the draft. Especially if he gets healthy. Not unless like someone picks him like 1st overall.
Could you imagine if the Jags picked him first?
That would be a very, very Jags thing to do.
Just means the Eagles definitely could have got Chase or anyway.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of weird draft day shenanigans. Like, there's a lot of reports of teams trading down, trading up, shit like that. Well,
It's every year, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe to me, it just feels like this year there's a lot more talk. I guess people just don't have nothing to do.
Yeah, we're not out, we don't go outside enough right now. That's the problem.
All right, let's get to the Bills, which is also kind of an easy team to evaluate just because like how close their running backs are with Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. They got Matt Breida now. Don't pick up Matt Breida. I like him, but they already have two decent running backs, and they go right
Yeah.
after each other. They're the 33rd and 34th running back. They're kind of interchangeable. You can get them either one in the early 8th round, so we'll see. I can't see them picking up a running back in the draft because they already have two capable ones, and they've already invested so much draft capital already. So, yeah, I personally would go Zach Moss. I've seen Devin Singletary. This is his 3rd year, if I'm not wrong, and I'm not that sold on him. I like Zach Moss. Kind of had some more flair to me.
I picked
Yeah.
up Singletary as a rookie, and like I don't know, there was like a lot of hype around him. I think where every week it was like, oh, he's gonna break out next week. Can this be the week he does it? And he was okay, but never. I don't know. I think he's okay. I mean, I think it's good, but I don't think he's gonna break near that upper echelon of running backs. Zach Moss, I feel like they're so close together. I don't know, kind of mediocre options in my opinion. I hope that's not too harsh, but
No, it's
I don't know. I think 8th round. I guess I haven't gone through mocks to see like where they would fall, but 8th round feels too high for me right now. I guess I'll go through a mock and see if that's where I would actually take one of them, but I don't know.
Who would you pick?
Especially with both of them there.
Who would you pick if you had the option of either?
Man, I guess Singletary just because I've had him before. He's okay, but not really. Depends what the Bills want to do that day. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
what about you, Greg?
It's all over the place. I think that's a really tough call for me too because they're so close. But I guess I would go with Singletary. I think he would get the first shot at it over Moss, just because he's been in the system a little bit longer. Last year, he did pretty good last year. I don't know. I would personally don't really want either of them, but
yeah,
I think I would go Singletary.
I don't want to go as far as saying like they're on my do not draft list, but I'm very uninterested.
You would let them slide.
Yeah. I'd probably take a receiver.
Yeah.
If they were there in like the 12th or something, I would be like, why not?
Oh, and the 12th, that's a steal. Oh man.
I know.
Yeah. If they're in the 12th, oh man. All right, let's get to Jets wide receivers. I don't know why I laughed because they're not that bad. This might be like the only nice thing about them. So they just picked up Corey Davis, like Julian said, and they have Jamison Crowder and Denzel Mims.
I will defend Jamison Crowder to the grave.
Oh, same. I love Jamison Crowder. So right now, Corey Davis is kind of listed to be better than them in terms of fantasy, 42nd off the board, and he looks like early 10th round. And Jamison Crowder is 46th in the early 12th round, and Denzel Mims is kind of a guy that if you'd have the spot and either we don't like to talk about injuries, but either Davis or Crowder gets hurt, Mims is going to take that spot, and I think he could produce.
Don't forget Keelan Cole's there now.
Yeah, he kind of was out of my radar. I only cared about these guys.
Keelan Cole's a solid option.
I don't know.
I think Mims would be the guy that would get the shot before Cole. Personally, I think Mims is more.
I'm just saying when you have you got your little list here, just you can add the 4th guy in the list. You can mention him.
I'll give him a shout out.
He's there.
Yeah, he exists. He had that nice catch, that one-handed catch the other year. Sticks in my mind. Anyway, if Crowder wasn't hurt last year, I think he was a steal wherever you got him at. Was it last year we had like a 19 catch game out of nowhere? A 19 target?
That might have been the year before that. I remember. Okay. Was it like later in the year? Because I remember
it was early.
Oh, early? I can't remember.
He did when he played. He was really good.
Yeah,
but
so he was like the only really bright spot for the Jets. It was crazy because you'd be like, I don't want the Jets suck. And then you look at your roster, and Crowder would have like 12 receptions for whatever and probably a touchdown. And you're like, oh, good for him. I don't know if that was a Sam Darnold connection, so maybe that stings him a little more. But he produced pretty well, so I still like him, even with Corey Davis now there, and Mims probably around more. I think he was hurt last year, but yeah, I don't know. I just like Crowder.
Crowder did not have that game last year. It was the year before, so
Okay.
2019. Yeah, he looked kind of average last year. He kind of fell off near the end. He had a pretty strong beginning of the year, but like missed a lot of games. Like he missed 4 games last year.
Mm.
Yeah, you had to see it.
Yeah, I'm not too high on these guys with the rookie coming in. New offensive scheme being put in. It's hard to say how these guys are all going to pan out.
Yeah,
They will do maybe better without Gase there.
I think that too.
They will. I don't know. It's hard to say with the rookie coming in. There's still a lot of question marks around Zach Wilson, who projected to go there. So I don't know. I'm out on the whole Jets team.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the moral of the story. Like, if you have to draft a Jets player, like the only one I kind of feel comfortable with is Corey Davis, and that's kind of sad.
You feel comfortable with Corey Davis?
And if he was in the 12th round, yeah.
Is that the benchmark we're going for now?
Yeah.
Would you get this guy in the 12th round?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess I might draft him in the 12th.
Yeah, I would draft him in the 12th round. Yeah. All right, there you go. That's how you know he's not that bad.
He's not that bad. Here we start talking about Julian Edelman, but the footage cut out, but it's kind of funny because he just retired while editing this, so I guess.
But yeah,
okay.
He's really talented, though, so I don't know. Maybe he could kind of give you guys a few performances. I would trust him to stay healthy, though.
He's old. He's too old, man.
No.
He's pretty old.
He's done.
He's done. I think he's like a definitely do not draft. He's 34, man. As a receiver, too, that's brutal. Like, only thing I would say, like, he has experience and, like, maybe he has a good connection with Cam, but I don't know, man. Even Aguilar's the 60th wide receiver coming off the board, and that's like mid-15th round? No way. I don't know. I don't like their wide receivers at all.
I like Kendrick Bourne more than Myers here.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, Bourne is not even above Myers in terms of projections. It kind of blows my mind too.
I mean, they only threw for like less than 3,000 yards last year, so I don't think any receiver is going to have a huge year either way. But I think I would rather have Aguilar over anyone on the Jets.
No way. Even over Corey Davis?
Yeah.
No way, dude. That's so wow. That's your opinion, and I respect it.
I might want more.
What would you say, Greg?
Yeah, I just think Aguilar's like he's going to be the number one guy, and I don't like him. Like I'm not going to draft him because maybe if he's there in the 15th round, if that's where he's going, I'll draft him. But yeah, he's going to don't like anyone.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, it is 15th. I almost misspoke. Yeah, it is 15th.
Can Aguilar be a number one guy though? Because we asked him to do that with the Eagles for like 3 weeks and he couldn't.
Yeah,
He did it for the Raiders.
Was he the number one guy?
He kind of was.
Yeah. Number one guy is Waller over there.
Yeah, that's
one receiver.
Wide receiver.
But Waller's taking away like 2 guys to cover him or something. I don't know. You're not afraid of anybody else. Like on the Raiders offense, you were afraid of Waller. You're not really afraid of anybody on this offense.
Well, I mean, they got
maybe Jonnu
and Hunter, so
yeah,
it's basically combine them to get Waller.
Oh yeah, that's a fair point.
Oh man, Aguilar had a cursed season. He had 666 receiving yards.
Oh, we gotta cut that out.
Yeah. Oh man, that's cursed.
I don't know. Can Cam?
No, sorry.
Even hit Aguilar?
I misspoke. I'm so sorry. That was yards before catch. I'm reading the wrong statistics. That receiving yards,
There
he
you go.
actually had 896. That's not bad, especially for
So
Aguilar.
that's my thing. Like, I feel like a lot of his production is deep catches. Can Cam do that consistently for him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't like any of the receivers, but I wouldn't draft any of them really in this
I agree.
division in these first two teams.
Okay, let's get to the Dolphins, which I guess is way more spicier. Let's not consider Jamar Chase just because that will throw off their wide receiver group. But
I
right
thought you
now
said
they have.
Jamar Chase is going to the Bengals.
I think he's going to the Bengals, but I'm not a draft expert. That's not my job.
Okay.
So right now they have Fuller, Devontae Parker, and Preston Williams. Yeah, Fuller is like their number one guy, according to fantasy. He's going to be wide receiver 28, according to experts, and going the early 7th round. And Devontae Parker is the 43rd first and is going at the end of the 9th round.
Devontae Parker is always so underrated. I don't get it.
Yeah. He has his games.
Was he bad last year? I thought he was like solid all year.
He was solid when Fitzpatrick was there.
Yeah. That's like the thing that everyone's afraid of, you know what I mean?
You know what? That is a great point.
So I think Fuller, is the 7th round. It's a risky pick. But I mean, if he plays like he did when he was in Houston, he's going to have like kind of the same connection. I think Tua back in college loved the deep ball. I don't know when he came to the NFL, they told him like don't throw it, but Fuller's got the ability to create separation, so they might get back to that. So if that's a possibility, 7th round could be a sneaky pick. It's risky, but
I like
Yeah,
Fuller a
Parker.
lot.
I like Fuller a
I
lot
like
too.
both of these guys.
I think Fuller has proven that he's worth the risk last year.
Yeah.
I don't like Tua nearly as much as I would like Deshaun Watson playing for me for a quarterback. But
Yeah.
I guess there's something to be said there. But I really like Fuller. I think he's worth the risk, especially in the 7th round. I would definitely take Fuller there.
I agree.
And just everyone would be clear, he's going to miss the first game, so don't expect him to be in your starting lineup week 1.
But also, oh wait, so do we know how ESPN is going to handle the extra game this year?
It should just be with the championship stuff back 1 week, right?
So I would kind of prefer the championship week stuff, like the extra game does not involve fantasy. You know what I mean?
So I'm confused about the extra game. People have said that the extra game is actually happening on like week 17. Is that true?
There's going to be
17
a
games.
17th game. There's going to be a 17th
Yeah, no,
game.
I know that, and I know that it's going to be like it's going to be between like your division ranking against another team. Like, for an example, I know that the Packers are playing the Chiefs, but is everyone's game going to be that 17th game?
What do you mean?
Like the 17th game in your schedule? Because I've heard
No,
like
I think that can be anywhere. The schedules haven't
Okay.
come out yet. I think that can be literally anywhere.
Okay,
So
because
the
I was
Eagles' extra
watching.
game will be the Jets, and I don't think that it's decided that we're going to play them in week 18, which will be our 17th game. I think it can be anywhere.
Because Pat McAfee was confusing me because he said that, and I'm like, I don't think you're right, but you sound so confident sometimes that I just have to like believe you. But no, yeah, I thought the same thing. I think it's just gonna be random where it's gonna be in the schedule.
Because they always want you to end on a division rival, because that influences playoffs and makes things exciting in the last week of the season.
Yeah.
So I really don't think that will be the case.
But go ahead.
that was just adding to Will Fuller missing again. I don't know if that means that there will be a 14-week fantasy regular season or still 13 with the 3 weeks of playoffs. That's what I would prefer because I feel like. So I think they're all expanding. I know they had to do it to make up money, but I don't think players like having to play an extra game. It's just another risk of injury. It's already a long season.
Yeah.
It's a stupid number. They're just doing it for money. I don't know.
it also makes no sense. It's just why would you have an odd number of games?
They can't do 2 more games because that's too much at once. And
Oh yeah, I
they
agree.
really want to
I
make up
already
money, so that's why. I guess that's why they're trying to push for just 1 extra game. But they're stupid to me.
I think it's stupid too.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go to the most exciting group of wide receivers?
Well, we didn't really talk
Let's
about
do it.
Devontae Parker, did we?
Oh, we kind of. Yeah, he's going at the end of the 9th round. Like we said, Devontae Parker looked really good with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I maybe like Tua will like foster like a connection with him. I don't know.
I mean, he could. I think he'd be worth a 9th-round pick. Fuller will take away the attention of the number 1 guy, most likely.
Yeah.
Parker's more of a contested catch kind of guy, but he might have a better chance, get more targets against the number 2 corner. So, I mean, he's worth a 9th-round pick.
Yeah, I think so too.
Kill your team, and he's got it. I mean, 2 years ago he was the 5th best receiver in the league. So,
Yeah.
different times, but he's got that potential.
He's still young too. This is his 6th year in the season. I mean, in his career.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the Bills. The Bills. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Stephon Diggs. Pretty good. Wide receiver 3 and early 2nd round option, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, he was a league winner last year.
Yeah, he definitely was. Not to harp on him too much, but the other receivers are Cole Beasley and Gabriel Davis. And Beasley is a 15th round guy. Yeah, very, very weak flex option, in my opinion.
Well, they also got Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh, my list doesn't reflect that. You're right. Do you guys agree that Emmanuel Sanders is like the clear number 2?
If he plays, I don't even know. It's definitely in there over Gabriel Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Beasley. I like Beasley a lot more than Emmanuel Sanders for fantasy purposes. Because last year Beasley killed it when he was on the field. He played pretty much every game. So
yeah,
and they're pretty consistent with their turnover from last year, personnel wise. So I think that'll just continue.
Yeah,
he almost had 1,000 yards. 4 touchdowns. He's not a bad guy to have.
Only 4 touchdowns, really?
Yeah, I mean Stephon Diggs got a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs kind of steals the show. Like
Allen Ransom in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the low touchdown. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was just gonna say like the low touchdown number kind of just scares me.
He's not a touchdown guy. He's gonna just get his catches.
Yeah, you're not drafting Beasley to be a wide receiver 1, scoring touchdowns for you every single week. He's gonna give you a good amount of yards, I think.
So this would be like your flex option for you guys?
Yeah, he'd be. I mean, in flex consideration.
Flex, yeah.
Okay.
That offense, they can't run the ball. They proved that. So there's a lot of throws. He's
very true.
Number 2 guy in my mind.
All right.
But yeah, Stephon Diggs is definitely worth to me early 2nd round pick personally. His connection with Allen is just crazy. So I mean, 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns, 166 targets. That's just crazy numbers.
Crazy, yep. Their interviews, you can just tell they're like best friends. It's like Josh Allen's like the goofy kid. Stephon's like the cool, calm, collected, but he'll just goof off with him when he wants to. Like I think that that chemistry plays in on the field, and they kill it together.
And the Vikings could have had fucking the best wide receiver core ever if they just kept him. Oh man. All right, let's talk about tight ends, and this is gonna be really fucking quick because I think there's only one team where 2 teams, sorry, that you would actually draft their tight ends.
Yeah.
So let's just get over with the Jets. They have Chris Herndon.
Don't draft him. Can we move
on? Don't draft. 26 off the board for tight ends. Don't draft, please. Anything to add, guys?
I mean, I got people. No. Has it been 2 years? It's going to be the 3rd year where people are going to talk about the Chris Herndon breakout.
Yeah, no way.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember hearing
Next.
about it. I remember hearing that he was going to. Yeah, all right, let's go on.
No, I'm sorry. Do you really want to talk about Chris Herndon? I feel bad now.
No, I mean it's just like the hype. There's like always just hype around him, and it never comes out. Either he doesn't play or it doesn't do anything. So if you still believe the hype, do what you want.
Yeah.
Draft.
Do you have anything to add, Craig?
No.
The most ejected advice we're ever going to give.
All right, this is going to be a fun conversation. So, Patriots, two big Fyre FA signings. So they got Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. So right now, Henry is going as the 11th tight end off the board, and then Jonnu is the 12th. They're both looking around 11th round options. Personally, I want John. I would pick Jonnu over Henry. I feel like Henry kind of scares me. I know last year he had a good year, but the year before with his injuries and didn't he tear his ACL 2 years before that?
I don't know exactly what injuries he's had, but he definitely has had some injuries in the past.
Yeah, I think Jonnu is going to be a little more available, and I like Jonnu more as a complete player.
Personally, I mean, I think I like Hunter Henry a little bit more. John is more of like the big play guy, but Hunter would be there, third down. He's going to run that 5-yard curl route, catch and fall down and get the first down. That's how I see Hunter Henry being used in the offense there. I don't really want either one of them, but I think if I had to put my money down, I would go with Henry. I don't expect big things either way, though, the way that they throw the ball in New England.
I don't really like either unless the other one is unavailable.
Yeah.
I guess we have no idea what their plans are going to be and how they're going to utilize them both, but I just don't see too much production coming out. I guess I don't know if they updated this. I'm looking at expert rankings. Jonnu Smith is 10. They have him over like Logan Thomas, and I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I would. If I missed out on all the other top guys, and you know me, I don't like to do that. But if I missed out on the other top guys, I guess I'll have to. If I had to choose, I think I prefer Hunter Henry. Like Greg said, he's got more. Does he get more receptions? I feel like he gets steadier production than Jonnu Smith.
He did last
Smith
year.
Smith will have crazy games, yeah. But I feel like Hunter Henry gets this constant 5 catches, 60 yards, probably a touchdown games. Yeah, I don't really like them as much. Like if it's this draft's coming around to Ben, and all you have left are Tunyon, Gesicki, and then these guys, like I'm sweating. Like I'm praying to the fantasy gods that Tunyon or Gesicki fall to me.
Yeah,
More so Tunyon.
Yeah, more so Tunyon. I was gonna say the same thing. All right. Do you guys have anything else to add?
No.
Cool.
No.
All right. The best tight end in this division, fantasy relevance wise, and I think even like complete like real football wise, is Mike Gesicki. He's the 9th tight end off the board, going early 7th round. So that's pretty good. I would be happy if I got Mike Gesicki. I think he's a stable starter. He's consistent, and he's kind of just a lock it and forget it guy.
I think he was more consistent with Fitz.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I feel like he's good enough where he kind of makes up for.
I was watching a lot of their games last year, just praying that my tight end Gesicki would get some looks, and he would do well when he got them. But they have another guy. I don't know if they released him. He's like Gesicki was 88. This guy was 86. Every time they catch the ball, you're like, who caught it? But the other guy ended up taking like a lot of production away. I don't know what the plan was. Is that him?
I believe it was Adam Shaheen. But I think Gesicki is. I mean, he's the main guy, but Adam Shaheen gets in on those plays.
Yeah,
Brady.
So I think
he's not
Gesicki falls to the bottom of like my acceptable tight ends that I'd be okay with having. But he's still good and he's still talented, but I still hope to get one of the other top 10 to 9 guys first.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I think Gesicki is serviceable if you wait till the end of the draft to pick your tight end. Try to fill in some other holes if that's your strategy. But yeah, he's not going to have a great year. He's not going to really win you a week pretty much anytime. He's stable. Tua, I don't know. I have to look up his splits with Tua, but I don't think he's going to, blow anyone out of the water. He's the best one in this division, in my opinion, for sure. So that's just speaks to this division and the tight end landscape as a whole. There's really just not much going on there. So
most tight ends will consistently lose you a week. Gesicki will only do that like once or twice.
Yeah, I think that's true. Okay, then let's talk about the most exciting tight end, Dawson Knox. Man, whoa. Tight end 27. Don't draft.
yeah, I don't think there's not much else to say.
Is he lower than Herndon? Jeez.
Just looked up this updated list. Herndon is 2 spots below Knox.
Oh, okay. My list is not that. My bad. My bad.
Good for Knox.
Yeah, sorry.
Put some
Draft
respect
Herndon
on his
right now.
name.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
God. All right. Quickly, don't draft kickers. I mean, if you're in a league where you have to draft kickers, obviously just draft the best available. But like, we're not gonna tell you. It doesn't matter near the end. Kicker is a kicker.
Who are their kickers? I don't even know.
I don't know. The Patriots defense, though, they're getting a lot of players back. They might be good this year.
Everyone
Yeah.
except for Chung. They're getting Kyle Van Noy back. Dolphins lost Kyle Van Noy, and the Patriots got him back. Patriots will not have Patrick Chung returning, but they have Dante Hightower coming back from the COVID, I'm not going to play list. They also signed Jalen Mills, cornerback, and linebacker Matthew Judon. So Patriots defense is, I don't want to say they're going to come back to where they were 2 years ago because that was absolutely ridiculous, but they're going to be back in large capacity. So
yeah, and right now they're only defense 10. To be honest, I might even pick them up. I don't like saying this because I hate drafting defense because I feel like I just pick whatever is the best available. But I feel like if they were the 6th defense off the board, I would get that off the board. You know what I mean? Like if I had, I think they're pretty decent. But what else to say? There's nothing else exciting.
Yeah, I think we can wrap up this division.
The AFC East. Super exciting. Okay, so let's get on to our weekly question. So, should there be rules set in place for trading in a fantasy football league? So, considering should trades be vetoed? Should trades be looked over with a trade calculator before they're processed? Should trades be processed immediately? What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in a few leagues. So I've seen they all have different trading systems. The one I hate the most is the one where the league members get to vote to veto the trade. It needs like 1/3 of the league to vote on it or something like that. And no trades ever get done in that league. Everyone in the league's like, "Oh, you're helping that guy out so much." Even if it's like a totally fair trade, they don't care. They just veto it. So it makes it discouraging to try to trade anything. And because of that, I think the veto system, it depends on who you have in the league. Or everyone's like really into it and like care about fairness, and by all means let the veto system. I think it's a fair way to do it. But in my experience, it hasn't worked out at all. I think the best way is to have like some experienced person be the trade like commissioner type of deal. Have a little committee, talk about it. Someone who knows what's going on and cares about the fairness in the league, so that they all get together when they see a trade gets accepted, talk about it, be like, hey, does this look good? I know this one guy's given up someone like Stephon Diggs. He's only going to get, like Austin Eckler or something like that. You just got to look at both sides, both teams, and see like if it makes sense. It can be a little imbalanced. No trade's going to be perfect, but in my opinion, things don't go too smoothly with the veto system. So I'm against the veto system.
Yeah, I agree. I think where leagues where every single person has a say in two people's trades doesn't work. I remember my first year in fantasy football, there was a trade with the guy I was playing that week and someone else. And it would have helped the guy I was playing. So I voted no. Again, don't crucify me. It was my first year playing. I was just like, oh, I don't want him to get better this week. So I just voted no. He freaked out in the chat. He was like an experienced player. He's like, you can't do that. That's not a good reason. Yeah, I'm like, relax. Like, I just don't want you to win. So that's why I did it. And it didn't even matter. Like the trade went through. Like I didn't think it would stop the trade. I was just like, oh, I don't want that. And I see now that that's just like unnecessary stupidity to invite into the situation and for me to have kind of cultivated. But I don't. So to this day, I don't think veto should be allowed for everybody to vote on. I think it should all be the veto commissioner is an interesting idea, Greg. I think that all trades should be immediate. They should be left alone. And if something comes up, you can bring it up in the chat. I guess people can talk about it, but generally, I think it needs to be egregious for actual veto or undoing by the league commissioner needs to happen. Like you said, no trade's going to be perfect. And some trades, sometimes you're just going to get the better of other people in the trade. I like to look for those situations and see like how I can spin it to make it okay between me and this one person. If it's absolutely ridiculous, then yeah, I think if it raises that many eyebrows, then something can be done. But just because one person is clearly winning the trade doesn't mean that it should be vetoed, or just because that's like already a good team and it's getting better, it shouldn't be allowed to happen. I think just let the players play how they want to play, because if you wanted that trade to happen, like if you think that that's unfair that he got that trade done, he or she got that trade done, then you should have went out and sought that trade yourself and made something work. You can't just be mad because someone else is making moves and you're not, and they're already better than you and they're getting even better. Like if you want to improve your team, go improve your team and let them do what they're doing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys pretty completely. I think that one thing I would add is I think trade rules should be more rigorous if there is like a big thing with like the last place player. Like there's a penalty. Either it is like a prank thing where they have to do something silly. I've heard that in some leagues, or they even have to pay like a larger fee since they went last place. I've heard of both scenarios. They both kind of suck. But I think with that kind of situation, people are more likely to be serious about trades, and like people would be more likely not to just give up and just trade their best players. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I agree. That's a good call to have something like that in the league.
Yeah. For example, in a couple of my leagues, we started doing this, and I think it's been really fun. It really keeps people engaged. Is the guy who scores the least amount of points in the league has to pay the guy who scores the most amount of points that week $5. We just set it at $5. Keep it light, but no one wants to pay that $5 to the guy who scored the most. So everyone keeps their lineup set. They want to score the most points, and keeps everyone active.
That's a really good method. I like that a lot. I will try to I would let my league commissioners know, or if I do league, to just kind of incorporate that. I like that a lot. And $5 isn't too bad either.
Yeah, it's worked out.
Yeah, really it adds up. My team last year, we did one like that, and I got screwed. I guess not screwed. Maybe I just drafted terribly. My first pick was Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Same.
My second pick was Kenyon Drake. And I think some of the unfortunate things happened. My tight ends were like Gesicki and Fant, who were like on and off. A couple things happened. So I ended up getting like lowest points scored quite a bit. And everyone's like, yeah, we feel kind of bad now. I was like, I agreed to it. It is what it is. But, I'm always going to be engaged in the league no matter what my status is, because I just don't like coming in last at all. But I think that's good motivation for other people to make sure everyone stays engaged with the week.
Mm-hmm. Something interesting I saw was some leagues are adopting this, where if you want to set up a trade and there's no veto system, you need to show an example on two different trade calculators that the plus minus according to this trade calculator is like within 5 or it's kind of a scale. And I thought that was kind of interesting because it's a kind of an outside perspective and it's non-biased.
It's,
I don't like that, but I can understand that being used.
Yeah,
an
because I
objective
feel
way
like
to look at it.
I think that the only negative thing about it is that there's definitely going to be people that are just going to be on this calculator all day and just trying to like scheme everyone out of their trades.
Sure.
Yeah,
I just think if
the
you
other person
have,
still has to accept it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think if a person wants to accept the trade, just because you think it hurts them, if they want to accept it for whatever reason, you should let them. Unless it's like there's clear collusion where they're just trying to help the other person and they don't care how they do that week. Like if they're trying to better their team and they just think this is the way to do it, and it's not completely ridiculous. I don't know what that 5% margin. I don't know an example that would be too egregious based on that, but I don't know. I feel like you know what
kicker for Christian
Yeah,
McCaffrey or something.
Yeah, like if you picked up, like I saw, like someone picked up like Colin Kaepernick in a league and tried to trade him for like Dalvin Cook. Like, yeah, no, you can't. Shut up, you can't do that. But there's infinite scenarios where just because you think it's unfair doesn't mean it's unfair for everybody.
Yeah,
There's a lot of times where it actually the person you think is losing the trade actually comes out on top. So
Right.
you can never really be sure how it goes. Fantasy football is a fickle thing.
yeah,
Right? Everybody's trying to play 4D chess, man.
yeah. We end up playing 1D checkers.
There you go.
One thing I also wanted to ask was, do you think there ever should be a limit on trades? I've also seen that leagues have a limit to where you can only trade 5 times within a season. I personally hate the idea.
I've seen
Yeah, I'm
leagues do paid transactions. Excuse me. So anytime you do any transaction, maybe you can just make it trades if you want. But anytime you pick up someone on the waiver wire, anytime you do a trade, anytime you do a transaction, you change your roster by any means, you have to pay a certain amount. So, and that just goes into like the pool that overall goes to, I don't know, highest scoring or whoever. So that encourages you to like only make smart moves because you don't want to just pay for a bunch of dumb shit. I think that's a good combat to that. I don't think you should really cap how much people want to trade in general, though.
Yeah, I like making moves a lot. So for me, I like to be active and having that money factor into it, like having to pay to make a trade and stuff or pay to pick someone up. That would really that would stop how I play fantasy football drastically. Constantly making moves and stuff like that. But I do like the idea of I've never been in a league like this, but it has like a free agency auction budget to have instead of like a waiver priority.
Oh, it's Fab.
An auction. Yeah, Fab.
Yeah.
So I would love to do something like that, but I've never I haven't convinced my league mates that would be the best way to go.
Fab is very complicated.
It's not super complicated. I mean, whoever bids the most wins, and when you run out the money, then you don't get it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we can't curse. Sorry, but
you can. Why can't we curse? I put this as explicit.
Oh fuck yeah! So I like Fab a lot. I think Fab. I don't know if this is a different conversation, but I think Fab should always have $0 transactions, just in case you do go to zero. Like you should still have the ability to make moves, even though it's just much less likely that you'll get whoever you want because someone could just put $1 and win.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's pretty interesting. It's not too complicated.
Yeah, no, trading is like my favorite thing about fantasy football, to be honest. So
actually, that made me think of a question for you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can finish what you were saying first, though.
No, I just was gonna say like, I love trading the most, and like I think that the less rules on it, and the less complicated it can be, the better it can be. And I think that there should be like bigger punishments for collusion. Like I don't think I've ever seen it before, but I've seen like very light cases of it. So I don't know. I think if you're caught colluding, I think there should be heavily penalties.
Full blown collusion. I think you replace the manager.
Oh, I think that's I agree. The managers,
You-
because if there's both colluding.
Yeah, it's true. Strip him of their team, give him to someone else, either another player in the league. That might be a little unfair, but you can give him to try to find somebody to replace him with. I mean, that's an extreme case, but kind
It's
of
also
bullshit.
hard.
People have money on the line. Like, you can't be doing that.
Yeah. It's also hard to like prove it too. Like you literally have to dig through texts.
Yeah, I never seen it like that. But again, if someone trades me Colin Kaepernick, I trade them back Dalvin Cook, something little fishy went down.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a true. Yeah, if it's like an outrageous trade like that, that should not even be allowed. Oh, but
Yeah.
then that goes with vetoing. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like vetoing. That's what I was saying. Like just because it looks dumb. Like if someone did trade Austin Eckler for DeAndre Hopkins, like yeah, that looks dumb, and I don't think that that's a smart trade at all. But that's their choice. And if I really wanted D-Hop that badly, I should have just checked with this guy to see if he would accept my, I don't know, Myles Gaskin, and I could have did that. But since someone else did, I can't just be like, oh, it's my fault for not acting. It's his fault for accepting that trade. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's super egregious, then I think if it raises that much of an eyebrow, you should be able to take action against it.
Yeah. You said you had a follow-up question, Julian?
Oh yeah. So, what is your favorite, or I guess top 2 favorite trades you've ever made?
Oh, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me,
What's the situation? Give me the whole rundown.
Yeah. Last season, I gotta pull this up real quick.
Yeah, I'm pulling mine up too.
Most of the players involved. So I know that I had.
What was screenshots?
Oh, actually.
What is your league save?
Text. So let's see. Oh, actually, hold on. I think here we go. Hold on, 1 minute. Is this trade basically won me my league? I did trade away. What's his name? Antonio Gibson. But in the trade, I ended up getting Raheem Mostert and Keenan Allen. And although Antonio Gibson ended up having like a really good year, Keenan Allen, I was desperate for wide receivers. And Keenan Allen just went on a tear. So he ended up getting me into the playoffs. I ended up winning the league. Mostert didn't really get me anything special because he was injured when I traded for him and never really did anything. But trade ended up winning me the league, and it was incredible. Well, my other trade I was talking about was Deontay Johnson and a 9th round pick, or Mike Williams and a 7th round pick. So I gave up a 7th, I got a 9th, so it's nothing crazy. And I got Deontay Johnson for Mike Williams, which huge improvement to my wide receiver core, and that got me into the championship game as well.
Oh, did you win?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Because when did you start winning? Because I know that you've always said that like you've always been like doing good in regular season and just like choked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my teams would always like kill it. We'd be the number 1 seed, and then just when the playoffs come around, we would just stop doing anything. But that all changed in 2018, so about 3 years ago. So that was when I won my first championship in a league, and ever since then I've been in about 3 to 5 leagues since that year, and I would always win at least one of them. And last year I won 4 out of 5 and got second place in the 5th one. So,
jeez,
yeah, last year was a great year for me.
All right, if I can mention something, and please don't take this personally. You only got good when I started playing, so I guess I must have just like rubbed off on you in some sort of way. So I must have like really like told you what to do with your things. So I'm just saying, all your success is because of me.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but if that's what really happened, I'm okay with it. So
Yeah, and
I'm
now
winning now, so it
I'm
worked
gonna
out.
start asking for a royalty fee. I want like 10% of your winnings from going forward because this is some BS.
10% of all of our leagues together. Sure, we'll see.
Dude, I mean, it makes sense. I started playing in 2018, and what happens? You start winning. I don't know.
That is something. That is
Yeah.
something to think about.
And I was gonna say my first 2 years never missed the finals. Last year was a blur. Last year I just like did not do well.
Mm. It happens, you know.
Hmm. All right, I was gonna say we
COVID.
can. COVID does suck. So, my favorite trade, and this came from 2 years ago, and I got a lot of flack for this. Like, I remember, like, I was almost like not kicked out of the league for this, but like everyone was clowning me. So, just to give this perspective, this is 2019, and this is October. I don't know if that means anything to you, Greg, but and Julian. Um, so I traded Le'Veon Bell and Alshon Jeffrey for Zach Ertz and Mark Ingram. And during that time, Le'Veon Bell was still considered pretty good, and he was on the Jets.
Mm.
Excuse me. And I remember people were just very angry at me because Le'Veon Bell and Alshon Jeffrey were looking so good. But I had to get rid of them because I legitimately thought this is going to end soon because Le'Veon Bell under Adam Gase was just starting to look bad. Like he was getting less touches. They were not playing for his strengths. You know what I mean? They were not using him like a receiving back. And I kind of wanted to get something different. So I wanted Zach Ertz because my tight end room wasn't that great. And people thought I was downgrading for Mark Ingram, but I actually thought Mark Ingram was going to be a definite plus for me because I remember like the Ravens offense was finally starting to gear up where they were running the ball super consistently and they were getting Mark Ingram involved again. And I was like, you know what? He's gonna have a good like second half of the year. And Zach Ertz was like decent. Zach Ertz has always been decent that year, except last year, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is like a really important trade just because I remember people were so mad with me, and I'll always remember it. Like it, I'm just always happy when I think about it.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for you. You ever
Yeah.
go back and think like, hey, I could have got more out of that trade?
No, I think that they were ready to like think it was. They were saying it was collusion because they already thought that like I was giving up so much, even though it was a great
That's
trade
what
for
I'm
me.
saying. Since you were giving up so much in their mind, do you think you could have got more from the other guy?
No, I don't think so. I think that like that it was a very tough league to trade in. Like people
Is
were
this our
very
league,
hesitant
Shrek?
on trading. Yes, it was. It was a
Who are
yeah.
you trading with?
I was trading with. Sorry, let me just double check. Oh, I can't even look at the reply. Okay, it was on Slack. Oh, Jose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember people were clowning me and like group me. I was like, "Fuck, man, did I make a mistake?" But yeah, no, that's my favorite trade. Not because like it was a good trade in general, but I just liked how it kind of like silenced the haters.
Mm.
Julian, what's yours?
Oh man, so I have two.
Okay.
2 years ago, this might be my all-time favorite. I was I forget what was happening, but like my league started off bad a year. I had my first two picks were James Conner and Juju Smith-Schuster back to back. Like I was the 12th pick. So I had Conner 12, Juju 13, and Big Ben was still there. I think. No, that was your Big Ben got hurt early. So
You had the Mason
Edwin
Rudolph.
Hodgins, yeah, I had the Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph thing going on. And Juju was doing okay, but like in my heart, like I knew I gotta make a move. Like I can't live like this. And I also had Deshaun Jackson, who, game one of that year, he was off for like 38 points. That was like his 8 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdown games where they came back against the Washington team when he was playing for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I was like, and there were no IR spots. So I was like, all right, Ajax is riding my bench, but he'll be back. And Juju, hopefully he can top this out. And I'm looking around at my league, and we had divisions. So if you won your division, you got in to the playoffs automatically. And the 2 guys in my division were ahead of me at this point because injuries or whatever. I just kept losing. I was like, I really got to make a move. And I noticed that one of the guys in my division, I don't know if he was new to fantasy football. He might have been relatively new. But I knew he was an Eagles fan. We're all friends in this league. So I was like, all right, I'm looking at who I can trade. I'm going to package something to trade out. I see he has Devontae Adams injured on his bench. And this is week 7. He got turf toe week 4 or something like that. And I knew all right, listen, I can snag this first round talent, Devontae Adams, from this guy if I give him Juju Smith-Schuster, who was doing okay, and another injured guy in Deshaun Jackson, who in my heart I knew wasn't coming back. It wasn't announced yet, but being an Eagles fan for so long, I knew D-Jax was out, and I was trying to unload him off of his early production to whatever. We were talking. I offered something else to soften it up a little bit. And I was like, all right, if I have to do this, I'll give you Juju and Deshaun for Devontae Adams. D-Jax and Devontae never had a timetable for return, and Juju was doing okay. I think he was going down. It's I knew my side was trash, but he accepted it. And then, of course, Devontae Adams comes back, and he's getting 2-3 touchdowns a game. And D-Jax never played another snap that year.
He did play another snap, and then he went down again.
Oh yeah, you're right. He played one more snap. And Juju, I think he went his quarterback went down, then Duck Hodges came in, did even worse, and then Juju got hurt. Just looking at the end product from after that trade went down, it was so different, and I was so happy. And it led me to the finals, which I eventually lost by 3 yards to Chuck, which is so annoying. But
Aaron, if we can just talk about this really quickly. Aaron Jones got a first down for no reason. I always think about that.
So annoying.
I think about that all the time.
and Devontae Adams dropped a touchdown in that game.
I know. Oh
and
my God.
Jones fumbled. I was like, thank God. And then Adams fumbled. I was like, no. It was the last game of week 16.
We were glued to our TVs that day.
I was like, no fucking. God. How am I gonna? And I did the math. I was like, all right, Jones is 5 yards away from beating me. If they can and Jamal Williams went down, so it was all going to Jones. I was like, if they can just stop Aaron Jones here, that'd be great. And then he breaks the tackle and runs for an extra 3 yards, and I'm like, God damn it!
For no reason.
I lost by 0.3 points. I was so hurt.
Do you know what's the funniest thing about that, Julian? We were the 2 worst teams that week.
Oh yeah, we were.
Yeah. Everyone was so mad because of that. They're like, wow, they really only scored 100 points.
Yeah, it was magnificent.
Oh my God.
That trade got me there, and that was my favorite trade ever. And then last year, in the league I ended up winning, I didn't draft quarterbacks until my last 2 picks. So I picked up Big Ben and Matthew Stafford. And I think Galladay went down early. So I also had Marvin Jones, who was having big games. And I was like, let me see if I can upgrade my quarterback. I'm looking around the league to see who drafted 2 quarterbacks, Greg mentioned earlier, that we don't really need to do. I noticed this one guy had Russell Wilson, who was, early onset MVP, and Josh Allen, who was killing it. And he was starting Russ, because I think Russ was doing better in the beginning of the year. They were both doing outstanding, 30 points a game. It was crazy. I was like, hey, listen, I'll trade you Matthew Stafford and Marvin Jones Jr. for Josh Allen. And it just happened that he actually liked Marvin Jones Jr. a lot. Matthew Stafford has the name. And he accepted. So I was like, either you take this wide receiver, this guy who's currently a wide receiver 2, and a quarterback who's going to ride your bench. I'll trade you that for a quarterback who's already riding your bench because you don't need him. And I think that's, it's a fair trade.
Yeah.
I remember people were talking to me dude, you fleeced him. I can't believe you got that trade through. And I was like, well, you're mad about it? He's like, I could have did the same thing. And, I saw it. I said, wow, good job, Julian, because I just got it to work. And, of course, Josh Allen just put my team on a tear through the first couple of weeks. I ended up picking up Herbert when he was popping off. And then I used Josh Allen as a trade chip to replace a not hurt, but like Nick Chubb was coming back, and I had Kareem Hunt. So I was like, I'll give you Kareem Hunt and Josh Allen I needed a tight end, so I got like Gronk and James Robinson from him. Like, nice. It just ended up shoring up my team throughout the whole. Like, it was nice, but that Josh Allen thing, everyone was so mad, but they couldn't say anything because it actually worked out. Because Kelly didn't need it. He had like Cortland Sutton went down for him early. I think he had Kenny Galladay who went down. Emmanuel Sanders went down early. Like, he needed the help.
Yeah, no, and like those, and the thing is, like, I think the best trades are kind of ones that look fair at the moment, because like it sounds like your trades were very like fair in the moment.
Right. Yeah. Like, I always try to do that. Like, you can't just throw random shit out there unless if you're colluding, then you're colluding, and you deserve to be kicked out the league.
Yeah.
But if you're honestly looking to make a trade, even if you think that like you're trying to fleece somebody or whatever, you gotta find a way to make it work for their team also. Otherwise, there's no point in even asking for the most part, in my opinion. So that's what I always try to do, and sometimes it works out.
Just like to reverse the question, what's a trade that you guys always look back on and you're like, fuck, why did I do this? And like almost ruin your league. Let's humble ourselves. Oh, Greg is already.
I was just looking at it, and this trade at the time, I thought I was gonna win the entire league, no questions asked. My team was just like unreal. If I could go back, I would 100% get rid of this trade from ever happening. So I traded. I traded to get Saquon Barkley, and this is the league I could trade my draft picks. So I gave up a 4th round pick, a 6th round pick, as well as Dak Prescott and Damian Williams because they were just on my bench
for
Saquon. So I had like Aaron Jones, Saquon Barkley, and there was another like really good running back. I'm trying to figure out the whole league, but my team was just stacked. And then as soon as the playoffs come around, we had what they call some injuries, and Saquon was gone. Let me see if I can find this team. Hold on 1 second. Saquon got hurt, so he didn't play. This was my full team, just because it was so dominant. We had Lamar Jackson on his MVP year, Cooper Kupp back when he was still doing good things. We had Aaron Jones, Darren Waller, Saquon Barkley. We were like Mike Evans. We were living large, and that week everyone fell apart, and we could not put it together. So I traded 4th and a 6th and lost in the first round of the playoffs. So terrible trade. I thought I was gonna never ruin that season, ruin my next season. Ended up being okay the next season. That was actually I won the championship that year. This was last year, but did not have a good start. Not at all.
Tough. I've never had a bad trade in my life, so I don't have to answer this question. All right. I think so. This was in a trade last year for me, and this is short and sweet, just because it's not too complicated and it's actually kind of easy to follow. I traded Alshon Jeffrey. No, I traded Carson Wentz for Alshon Jeffrey 2 years ago or a year ago. No, it must have been 2 years ago. And I fucked up because I was like, Dude, Carson's terrible. I gotta get rid of him. I gotta get Alshon Jeffrey because I think he's just gonna be getting all the yards. And like everyone thought I fleeced who I was trading with, but I was the one who was fleeced. Oh my god, Alshon Jeffrey gets hurt the next game, and I'm like, wow, I literally just gave someone a free player, and I just was like, wow, I'm just sad now. I think a big recurring theme in bad trades is just injuries. I think injuries is just the thing that ruins them all.
Yeah, it's tough.
Mm.
Totally forget the circumstances of this trade, but I just remember it being something that really pissed off my league mates. It was like 4 years ago. I was riding high. I had Matt Ryan and Julio Jones back when Julio had his 300-yard game. So I don't know, they might have gave me 80 points just between the two of them that day, and I was like, this is great. I think my running backs got hurt or something, and Julio was questionable every week as Julio does. So I think at some point, and I forget how well the other guy was doing, but I traded Julio straight up for Jay Ajayi. I totally forget.
Oh man.
I know in the moment, it made sense to me, but the more experienced people were freaking out in the chat. It was one of those moments where I didn't know enough about fantasy, or it just made sense that I needed a running back, and Ajayi was going off. I think Ajayi did okay, but I needed to make a move to make the playoffs. I had other good wide receivers, but I had no running backs. I was like, let me trade this for this guy's best running back, and maybe I got something else back too. But yeah, people were not happy about that.
That happens though. I mean, especially in the beginning when you're still learning about fantasy football.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes like that in the beginning.
So I didn't make the playoffs, but I won the losers bracket, which got me my money back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I finished 7th right outside the playoffs, and then I ran the loser tournament. So I mean, in a way, it worked out. But
nice.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think this is a good topic just to talk about trading, because I think trading is something that people really don't take advantage of, because I think trading will win you your championship. Will win you your league most times. A good draft is a good. Yeah, you got to make moves. Yeah,
I think you can get lucky and just draft a solid team that stays healthy and runs through, but you got to make some sort of move, man. You got to watch the waiver wire. Got to make a trade. Got to do something.
Any last thoughts, Greg?
No, that pretty much sums it up. Just keep making good moves. Be smart about it.
How about you, Julian?
Yep.
Cool.
Let people do what they want to do.
Let the people be free.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
I wanted to give you guys a surprise. I got a special guest.
Oh.
Skip Bayless. I asked him a pretty amazing question. I asked him some advice, and this is all he told me.
I just busted right inside him.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And I wanted to elaborate on that, and then he told me this.
Overwhelmed by my girth and tonnage.
Yeah, so that.
Wow. Okay, Skip.
Yes.
Can't wait for the copyright.
I think he doesn't want people to find out about that clip at all.
It's all over Twitter, so he's sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh, you've seen that too? Oh my god, it's so fucking funny.
He's in a hat, and he's just on his phone, just I'm bursting. Or he has a lot of those moments where it's all right, phrasing, relax.
Yeah, phrasing. Yeah, he out of context, he's fucking hilarious. Hi everyone, we forgot to record a outro, and that's my bad. So thank you all for listening. Please check us out on all platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. I'm not really confident, but yeah, check us out. Have a great day.